Hi, welcome to Future Dragon Rocket. I am not Ryan Reynolds. So this is going to be my review of Antman and the Wasp Quantumania. Let's kind of go through everything that happened in the movie, and then we'll go through, kind of how I would rank it, how I would rate it, and what's to come, what to expect from all the characters. But to start with, the film opens with a Janet Van Dyne flashback to when she was in the quantum realm, when she first met Kang. It's a really quick flashback. It's the first of maybe two or three flashbacks she has during the movie, and then we skip to our Earth, the real world, and Scott Lang's doing like a book tour of the book he wrote about himself and his time as an Avenger. His daughter Cassie Lang is really smart little teenager. Turns out she got arrested, and really funny little subtle thing if you didn't catch it, but she shrunk a cop car and just like kind of like tosses the cop car back to them as she gets released from jail. I thought that was really great. Kind of overlooked, great little scene from Cassie Lane. Really hoping to see more of her in the future and any kind of like future project, or especially a Young Adventures project. We get a quick little Jimmy Woo cameo. He does not say anything. It's just like him and Scott Lang having lunch together. They don't do any magic or anything. His whole crew, Lewis, T.I., they're not in the movie. Turns out MODOK is the funniest character in the whole movie, and that's really saying something because this is a real turn from the first two Ant-Man films. This is definitely less of a comedy and more of a action cosmic type of movie. So MODOK and Scott kind of have like some funny exchanges. MODOK and Cassie have some funny exchanges. Even like Janet and Hank have some funny exchanges with Scott too. But overall, MODOK kind of stole the comedy show in this film. We do get one Captain America Civil War reference as they're all kind of like eating dinner together. As they all get pulled down into the quantum realm. Turns out MODOK was the one that essentially pulled them into the quantum realm. He thanks Cassie for her little invention of sending a signal down to the quantum realm because it helped him pull Scott and Hank and their whole family down to the quantum realm for some revenge. And Scott turns into like giant man or stature, if you will, to save Cassie from just like falling and hitting the ground as they get pulled into the quantum realm. Hank Pym says like, technically they should all be dead. They got pulled into the quantum realm without wearing any kind of like suits essentially. The Wasp, Hope Van Dyne, is really the only one that like puts her suit on, activates her suit before getting pulled down into the quantum realm, but that didn't really like affect her or help her at all, considering everyone else is just like pulled down just in their street clothes. In the whole movie, I'm thinking like, how are they gonna get home? They don't have any like tech down there really except their suits. So how are they gonna get home? That was my biggest question while watching the movie. How are they gonna get home if they don't have any of their tech with them? Bill Murray's cameo in the movie, he is essentially like Janet Van Dyne's old love interest while she was stuck down there in the quantum realm. And I thought Bill Murray was kind of wasted in this role, to be honest, because he wasn't funny at all. His character's name is like Krylar, and he used to be, either a freedom fighter or a terrorist, depending on what side you look at it. But Bill Murray's character Krylar and Janet Van Dyne used to essentially fight Kang together in the quantum realm. But now, since she's left, Krylar, Bill Murray's character, is kind of like given up the fight, and he is trying to turn Janet into Kang because he knows that he can't beat him. This guy was kind of like talked about with from some people on social media as like, is this guy Reed Richards? Like, this guy could be playing Reed Richards, but no, this is just like some psychic in the quantum realm who does have a lot of speaking lines, but really doesn't do too much. This guy is definitely not Reed Richards. There's all kinds of other like really funny like quantum realm citizens, if you will. Like there's this one jelly character who said he has no holes, he's just a piece of jelly. And the movie definitely invested a lot in like the citizens of the quantum realm. I mean, we got to experience like a whole new universe that like we haven't seen in like Asgard, or Guardians of the Galaxy or anything else. So this really they really invested a lot into like creating like all these new characters down in the quantum realm, which I thought was pretty cool. But maybe they spent a little too much time on those people. Scott and Cassie are separated from Hank and Janet and Hope, and so almost half the movie is them trying to like find each other down there in the quantum realm. But Scott and Cassie get captured by MODOK. And during Janet Van Dyne's like second flashback of the movie, we definitely see Kang kind of describing timelines and the graphics, like the way the way they're kind of showing it in the film is that he's really like showing everything from the original Loki series on Disney Plus as far as how like the timelines look, how they branch out and everything. And from what King is describing in Janet's second flashback, it definitely sounds like who exiled him down to the quantum realm is the Council of Kings, and we're going to find out in the mid-credit scene it's definitely the Council of Kings that exiled this particular King variant down to the quantum realm. And so the engine core of King's time machine was essentially like subatomically shrunk like 4 or 5 times by Janet Van Dyne. And so someone's got to go down there and essentially bring it back to like its true form, its true size, essentially. So Scott makes a deal with Kang to get Cassie back. He's going to shrink down in the quantum realm, define the core, and we get this really trippy thing called a probability storm. And there's just thousands and thousands of Scots, thousands and thousands of Hopes, all kind of bumping into each other, kind of helping each other achieve the mission of retrieving the engine core for King's time machine and making it to its true size again. And from there, they do get the engine core to his time machine back, but of course Kang is going to stab Scott in the back. There's no deal, like he's not getting his daughter back, but Kang is going to get the engine core to his time machine and leave the quantum realm. And here's where the epic final battle begins because everyone's in on this. Cassie Lang essentially like frees some of the very powerful prisoners down the quantum realm to start like a rebellion, kind of a power in numbers type of fight against Kang and his forces. MODOK takes down Hank's Pym ship, but then Hank Pym has the power of like his aunts down there in the quantum realm. He actually has found his aunts down there in the quantum realm, and they've been down there for like 1,000 years. They have more knowledge than he could possibly imagine. So Hank Pym actually uses his aunts to help defeat Kang. Everyone kind of helps. Janet Van Dyne, Hope, Scott, Cassie. MODOK ends up not being a dick. Cassie Lang tells MODOK to not be a dick, and MODOK decides to not be a dick and actually helps them defeat Kang down the quantum realm. And this my question was answered. At the end of the final battle, it's the whole question throughout the film is like, how are they going to get home? They don't have any tech. How are they going to get home? So they actually use Kang's tech, Kang's like time machine tech, to like just kind of make like a quantum portal, if you will. It doesn't look like a sorcerer portal from Doctor Strange or Wong, but it's similar size and shape, and it's just like a quantum portal that they can just like step right through to get home. And everyone goes through: Cassie, Hank, Janet, Hope. But then Kang stops Scott from going home through there. The portal's still open. They're fighting. Hope actually comes back through to help defeat Kang. Kang doesn't actually die. He doesn't get shot or stabbed or anything, but essentially they shrink his engine core like subatomically like 4 or 5 times back down, and he essentially gets like pushed into it. So he doesn't actually die, but he is shrunk down to a level that's so small in the quantum realm that he can't really do any damage. So he's still there, even though he's not dead. So they do win. Everyone survives, and that was kind of the biggest surprise of the movie, is that no one dies in the movie. I thought the end of the trilogy, this far into the MCU, maybe they'll let Janet Van Dyne or Hank Pym finally, bite the bullet, but everyone survives in the movie, which I was not expecting. So I saw a lot of people maybe rating this like 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. I think it's going to be really rewatchable, and having the characteristic of being rewatchable is how I kind of like rate this stuff. So I'd honestly give this like 7.5. I'll have to go back and rewatch the first two Ant-Man films to see what I like the best, but this is definitely something I recommend seeing on the big screen. I definitely recommend seeing it in 3D if 3D doesn't make you dizzy or nauseous at all. The visuals were crazy. This is definitely something you should see on the big screen. Highly recommend seeing it on the big screen. Don't wait till it's streaming. It's probably the best crazy acid trip that the MCU has done since Doctor Strange or Ragnarok or Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a wild ride in the quantum realm, and 90% of the film is in the quantum realm. They only spend the first maybe 15 minutes of the movie like on planet Earth before they get pulled down into the quantum realm by MODOK. So it's not a top 10 MCU film, but it's definitely in the better half of MCU films. It's definitely a turn from the first two Ant-Man films. The first two Ant-Man films were definitely the comedy relief, if you will. Definitely Ant-Man and the Wasp was definitely like comedy relief after Infinity War, after everyone got dusted. I loved it. I can't wait to rewatch it. When I leave the theater and I say I can't wait to rewatch it, it's a good MCU film. Um, Wakanda Forever, I definitely wanted to watch again. That one was so long. There was so much happening. There was so many characters in it. I definitely wanted to rewatch that. Thor: Love and Thunder, obviously did not want to rewatch that after I left the theaters, but Quantumania, definitely want to rewatch this one. Um, Lots of stuff happening down in the quantum realm, and stay around for the mid-credit scene. You'll see the Council of Kangs in the mid-credit scene, and stay around for the post-credit scene too, because that is kind of a teaser, if you will, for Loki season 2. We see a variant of Kang on the stage, maybe early 20th century, late 19th century, with some sort of machine talking about time. And Loki and Mobius are in the crowd of the theater, sitting down. Loki's like, "Hey, that's him, that's him." Mobius is saying like, "Are you sure he doesn't look like that threatening?" Loki's like, "No, that's him. That's Kang." So stick around. Two amazing scenes, mid-credit scene, post-credit scene, that are probably the best that we've gotten in a very long time. Probably the best since the Shang-Chi post-credit scene with Carol Danvers and Bruce Banner. So Quantumania, Ant-Man Part 3. Um, I love it, and I can't wait to watch it again. I hope everyone else goes to see it too. Thanks so much for watching Future Dragon Rocket. Subscribe down below. Share on social media. See you next time.